Hello everybody, welcome back. We have a very exciting update today. And no, I am not in any way in connection with any of the developers. It just all happened at the same time. Uh, we're gonna be going through this, talking about pretty much what I've been talking about for the last 3 months since we learned that Titans would be coming. Um, Titans are not technically here yet, but they are putting in place exactly what I said they would do to get us going toward Titans. So I'm gonna let people filter in here for a little bit, get myself a drink, and then we will get to it. There is a lot of good stuff here. Alright, I think we'll give them about another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll get started. I need another drink. I already chewed through that one. Got myself a brisk iced tea. Always great. Yeah, no, I do not hydrate very well. God, I have been thinking about this update all day. And talking about this update all day on the EVE Discord. Alright, hello 2K, hello Riley, hello Jinner. Welcome, welcome. I'm sure we're gonna have a couple more people here, but I think we're ready. That was longer than 30 seconds than I intended. Alright. So, tomorrow's update. Same time as usual, same downtime of 120 minutes. Or 2 hours if you want to look at it that way. First things first, we have new content for electronic warfare fighters and repair fighters. Capsuleers, this update expands the carrier fighter system, adding electronic warfare fighters and logistics fighters. Carriers will gain more tactical role options, taking on E-War suppression, target control, and limited logistic support beyond firepower projection. So the first things first is they are adding some rules to the way that you can load fighters. Adding an electronic warfare fighter and repair fighters. Due to carrier tech limitations, only one group of electronic warfare fighters or repair fighters can be loaded. So, that means that you can have, depending on if you are a Navy carrier or regular carrier, the regular carriers will be able to have their 2 fighter bays for DPS, and then 1 for either E-War or repair. They cannot have both at the same time. You must choose. On something like the Navy carriers, you will have 3 bays for your DPS, and 1 bay that you can choose electronic warfare or your repair fighters if you choose to. Generally, I think most people are going to just run all DPS like we've always been doing. And maybe they'll keep, like, one flight of E-War and one flight of repair fighters in their bay, just in case they need it. But otherwise, most people will just be using their normal DPS. Alright. E-War Fighters. Electronic Warfare Fighters are equipped with new warfare modules suitable for fighters while retaining their damage capabilities. So something you can do with these is you would have your... Let's just stick with a standard carrier for now, which is 3 bays. If you do your 2 bays of DPS fighters and an electronic warfare fighter, the electronic warfare fighter will apply that debuff to your target, plus also do damage. So it is a mixed fighter. It does combat and E-War debuffs. Alright. Theoretical electronic warfare effect, which is one group, equals the electronic warfare bonus effect of a single. So... yeah, so... this is like how we have the Asteros, where on the Asteros, you'll see the repair amount. That is for a single Astero, and you have to multiply it by 3, because there's 3 Asteros, to get your full healing amount as the group amount. That's the same thing here, so the value that you see on the single E-War fighter, you must multiply that by how many of those fighters that you have in the group. Which I believe should be 9. So, that'll be good. I'm glad we have that as a statement there. That way nobody can be confused. Hello, Snoopy. How you doing today? Alright. There are a bunch of different types of electronic warfare fighters. I don't think they're light superiority. I think they are just standard, fighters. That's what they are on EVE Online. So, they are just standard fighters in EVE Online. So I would assume, and we could be wrong, but I assume they are standard light fighters, which would make it 9. If they are light superiority, maybe they're 12. Alright. I don't remember seeing it stating anything in here, but I'm only going off of the stream that we have the other day when I was going through all of these in EVE Online. Which, like, for me, just going, I want to go see the new content and coming across these fighters, like, 3 days ago, and going, oh, that would be cool to come to game, and now they're here? Man, I nailed that. God dang. I nailed that so good. Alright. So the first electronic warfare fighter is the Cenobite. This reduces the target's turret range, turret tracking, and locking efficiency. Ideal for suppressing turret-based ships. God, that sounds really powerful. EVE Online doesn't have high-sent dreadnoughts. Maybe we can do that with the Marauders, though. Yeah, wow. I wonder how powerful that's gonna be. Being able to control a turret ship's ability to lock, a turret ship's ability to track, the range on it, man. If you know what you're up against, you could really, really mess with somebody. Alright. The next one is the Scarab. This reduces the target's missile combat efficiency and enlarges the target's signature radius, making it suitable for helping the fleet focus fire. So, against a missile ship, it's going to make missiles worse, but it will also act as a target painter to that missile ship. So that missile ship will become a larger target to hit. What I'm really seeing here is that they're pretty much just using the current E-War modules and adding a second one onto these fighters. So, for example, this Cenobite has the, I can't even remember the name of the module now that I'm talking about it. Oh, I can't remember the name of it anymore. But anyways, the Scarab would be the target painter plus the missile guided disruptor. Alright. The Siren reduces the target's locking efficiency and disrupts the target's turret combat capabilities. Ideal for restricting the enemy's key firepower units. I'm not sure how effective that's gonna be in comparison to just running the Cenobite. Maybe you would want to have like 2 different ships, one with Cenobite and one with Siren, to really mess with people that are running turrets. But that means you do have to have 2 people set up to deal with that. Alright. The Dromi can amplify the target's signature radius and lower the target's missile combat efficiency. Ideal for improving fleet strike hit performance. That's another one that you would just combine with the Scarab, because they both affect missiles. So the Scarab and the Dromi would go together, 2 separate ships, because we can only run one E-War thing at a time on a individual ship. So that's kind of interesting. The Grail can reduce the target capacitor and lower target locking efficiency. That's kind of dangerous. I wonder if these are neutralizers or if these are just, I would bet they're neutralizers. Rather than Nosferatus. I'm gonna bet that these are neutralizing fighters. Alright, Mamba. This is different from the EVE Online Mamba. Do not get them confused. These are just fighters, not the faction ship. The Mamba reduces the target's flight speed and enlarges the target's signature radius. This is going to be an incredibly important fighter for PvE. I think this fighter is going to be the most ideal to have on a standard carrier or a navy carrier. Hello Ryan Lee, how you doing today? Welcome, welcome. We got a lot to go through today. The reason the Mamba is going to be so good is because fighters currently have a bit of a struggle with application when you compare it to something like the lightweight ships. So having your DPS with the Mamba, which will also give you a little bit of DPS, the Mamba's gonna slow those targets down and make them larger, which allows those fighters to actually apply the damage that they're capable of and make them much more effective at killing things in anomalies. Even just in PvP as well, being able to slow down players is a huge bonus as well. So, me personally, I would run the Mambas in one of my drone bays, or fighter bays, I should say. I would absolutely run my DPS with Mamba. Alright, and then we have the Agent, which is the last of the E-War fighters. This prevents the target from escaping via warp, and reduces the target's missile combat efficiency, ideal for tackling anti-missile suppression tasks. This one could be used as, like, an easier way to lock somebody down quickly and keep them on grid. But you're gonna want other people with you. I don't think that this is, like, the best option. Alright. Now let's look at the Logistics Fighters. Logistics Fighters have no damage capabilities, and mainly provide limited repair support. Repair fighters are also affected by the loading limit, and can only be loaded into a single group. There are two types of logistics fighters. The first one is the Hummingbird. Can provide shield repairs to the target with faster repair rhythm, ideal for promptly responding to shield pressure. We'll see how good these things are eventually. I don't have any fighter skills anymore. Actually, yes I do. I have fighter skills for my super carrier. Now maybe I can borrow a Cyan and see how these work. Because I wonder if they'll be able to self-rep, or if they're only meant for, helping others. That'll be interesting. The Oath provides armor repair to the target, with each repair being more concentrated, making it suitable for stable support during sustained engagements. I think this one's going to be the more powerful one. Armor Doctrine has been slowly taking over the entire server, and something like the Archon is going to get a huge bonus from having the armor repair fighters. I wonder how high they scale for healing. All it says is with each repair, it becomes more concentrated, which suggests that you get more repair the longer they're repairing. I'm sure there's a maximum amount that they will repair you for. I just don't know what that number is. Alright, so the initial release, which is tomorrow, includes only the Light Fighter series. Due to their special models, the Super Carrier's unique bonus cannot increase the squadron size of this type of fighter. So Super Carriers, if you're looking at these E-War fighters and repair fighters, you are not going to get an increased amount of these fighters. You can get these by opening the supply in the New Eden store tomorrow, and the construction and manufacture of the Heavy Fighter series and Light Fighters will be updated after next maintenance. So that will be not this update, but the following one on next Wednesday. Alright. Up next, another huge update to the game. We are going to have Corp Tech Level 8. Corporation Tech Level 8. I did call this about 2 months ago. And actually, we need to stop right here and actually show you that. So, here on the EVE Discord, and under the Fittings Discussion Titans in Preparation, this is the thread that I started back when we were talking about Titans just being announced. This is actually like a month after when I decided to actually release the information that we had been working on in the background since the release of the Titans being announced at E-Fest. And you can see I did this post on May 20th. That is 2 months ago that I made this post. In here you'll find all sorts of things like the estimated cost of building a Titan, some things like the release information, let's see here. Right here. Do we think it will fall under Corp Tech 7, or will we have level 8? Hi Jane, how you doing today? So, this was on May 22nd. I called Corp Tech Level 8. And then, not only that, I also called Keepstars on May 22nd. Come on. You can't even make this up. We even have people who are pretty known for talking to the developers regularly. Like B-Town here. Not sure on his, on whether or not we get a Keepstar, but I called it. I absolutely called it. But yeah, so that was fun. But there's all sorts of stuff here. If you want to learn about Titans and their assembly and some different things, there's even the construction for the Keepstar here. If you are looking to try and start working toward a Keepstar, these are the estimated materials. This is the assembly list from EVE Online, so it won't be exact. We'll get a more exact amount eventually. And then here was the assembly list for the Titan as well. This one is, in particular, is the Avatar. But there is a lot of good information here that I have been working with and posting about. Here you can see today, I was right. I was right. I predicted it. Corp Tech 8 Keepstars. Alright, now that I've tooted my own horn, let's get back to this. Alright, Corp Tech 8. This tier's core technologies revolve around the Keepstar and Titan. The related tech is not available yet. The Keepstar and Titan are currently the largest space structures and warships under existing technology, serving as region control centers and region-level strategic weapons. God, that was hard to say. Mastering these technologies will empower your corporation to dominate the stars. Due to the high corporation standing requirements, the weekly corporation preparation mission max limit has been raised from 150 to 200. To accelerate corporation growth, they are putting us on a fast track to get to Titans. They know they're running out of time, and they know everybody wants it for the anniversary. So, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm predicting the anniversary will be the release of Titans, or the release of the Keepstar in its entirety. We have just about 3 weeks or 4 weeks before we see the anniversary event. We're very, very close. So for them to just fast track us like this, means that they're really hammering down that it's coming. Like, related tech will be unlocked in phases. This round includes 3 types of ancillary tech. the Tactical Carrier Manufacturing Authority 4. Max level 10. Each level increases the max limit of tactical carrier manufacturing by 1 to 2. Staff Expansion 5. Max level at level 10. Each level increases the maximum number of corporation members by 10. Territorial Expansion 5. Up to level 5, each level increases corporations' maximum sovereignty by 1 to 2. This is a very important one, because Keepstars are going to require you to have a certain amount of sovereignty under your control to actually anchor a Keepstar. And we'll get there in a minute. In addition, the Territory Expansion series of Corporation Tech has been updated, with the maximum level raised from 3 to 5. Special reminder, and this is where we're going to get into a little bit more of the Keepstar itself. Anchoring a Keepstar is extremely difficult. In addition to manufacturing and transportation costs, it requires holding sovereignty over a certain number of solar systems, and the number of Keepstars that can be anchored per region and per alliance is limited. The Keepstar is also not the only way to manufacture a Titan. So there is no need to upgrade the related tech just to build one. I'm telling you, the developers have been watching that Titans and Preparations thread since I made it. They have been watching it, because every single one of these things has answered questions that we have had so far. Not every question has been answered, but the ones that are answered here are ones that we had questions about. So, reminder, Keepstar is not the only way to manufacture a Titan. I'm assuming they're going to treat this a lot like the tactical carriers, where you could build them in a low-tech ITC, or in a Citadel. That is my bet. That'd be funny. I don't know, it could just be convergent thinking, and we're all just kind of on the same path of how do we get there, what's reasonable, what to expect, and we all came to the same conclusion. And I am perfectly fine with accepting convergent thinking. However, I will absolutely toot my horn and say I called it. I read their mind. Alright, likewise, there are multiple ways to obtain Titans, and upgrading Corp Tech is not required. It is not recommended for lone wolf capsuleers or small corporations specifically upgrade Corp Tech level and corporation level. So they're telling us that if you want a Titan, don't do it alone, and you do not need to upgrade your Corp level or your Corp Tech level. So this can be done. If you really wanted to, you could do it alone. Not that I would ever try to do that. This has already been hard enough. But you can do it without needing the cork level and the cork type. So that is very good. Alright, so we have a new event coming. This is the Cluster Orbit Event Manual. Oh god, Iron Man Alpha to Titan. No. That would be awful. That would be awful. We'd make like one module every like month if we were lucky. It would take us like 14 years. Not happening. Alright. The event manual is now open. Complete the designated missions to earn generous rewards. Unlocking the manual grants additional rewards, including the mission random supply, Abyssal Shadow is coming back, Luminous Coins, and the new Fighter Op Supply integrated. So, we're gonna get, if you unlock your Cortex missions, sorry, I'm still stuck on that. If you unlock your event manual, you will be able to get the Abyssal Shadow missions again, Luminous Coins, which are for the, I'm pretty sure the Luminous Coins were for the emojis, and you'll get the new Fighters Op Supply, and they're going to be integrated versions. This will probably be the best event manual we have seen in a long time. I'll go through it tomorrow, but expect it to be a good one. If Abyssal Shadow is coming back as missions that I can pick up, I will absolutely be picking those up. Wow, why do I keep doing that? And selling them. I'll probably also be sharing the missions, but yeah. I will absolutely be picking them up. Because I need ISK. And a lot of it. Alright, new arrivals. The new Fighter Op Supply Assault, which is going to be in the New Eden store, and the new Fighter Draw Supply are now available in the New Eden store. After opening the new Fighter Draw Supply a certain number of times, you are guaranteed to obtain the new Fighter Op Supply integrated. Luminous Coins are now available in the recommended section of the New Eden store. Head to the emoji event page to obtain the newly added emojis. Mission Random Supply Abyssal Shadow. Shanghai Class Selection Supply and Skyline Patrol Selection Supply, which that is for the Marshal, by the way, have returned to the recommended section of the New Eden store. So that means you can get your hands on the Shanghai Op Box, the Marshal Op Box. It will require you probably to have the God knows how many boxes, 60? I believe it was 60 boxes. The Data Key Exchange Store is open again. Data cores obtained from missions can once again be exchanged for Abyssal Shadow Series capital ship cores, as well as Telemachus and Delirium. So, if you get your Abyssal Shadow keys, and you are sharing the missions and doing the thing that I showed in my video where you share the missions, you get the crate, you turn in the crate for the keys, then you can get yourself a Telemachus and a Delirium. If I remember correctly, it required 80 keys to get the Telemachus and or the Delirium. It was 80 keys. So just be ready to spend a lot to try to get those. Otherwise, if you are somebody just looking for an easy way to make money, the Abyssal Shadow shared missions usually are paid pretty well, and are fairly easy for most capital ship pilots that are capable of doing, Sansha raids, or Sansha mains. Yeah, 65 for a capital, 80 for an Nanocore, and 200 for the super. Thank you, Jenna. So, I will probably do a stream where I run shared missions, and as well as share shared missions. I do intend on doing that. Alright, so that covers that. We also have the emoji event. A new batch of emojis has been added. The emoji event has reopened. This round of emojis features a soccer theme. Okay, I think I still have a bunch left over from last time that I never rolled with. Yeah, that'll be fine. Alright, Navigator Program is coming back. If you spend 499 AUR up to 1,000 some odd, you will be, if you spend 499 AUR, you will be entered into the Navigator Program, which will give you a bunch of, SP. We also have Reclamation of Glory Solar System Sovereignty from the first tournament. I don't care about any of this. This is dumb. Cool, but dumb. But then we have nerfs to lightweight ships. Yes, you heard me right. Nerfs to lightweight ships. Lightweight ships became too popular after the Telemachus, and way too powerful. They have optimized the fall-off logic when multiple lightweight ships within the same group use stasis web fires on enemies. The previous two complex mechanics running in parallel, same group fall-off and universal fall-off, have been simplified into in-group multiplication and universal fall-off. Pretty much, they're just rephrasing it there. But here is where the nerfs come in. Lightweight Succubus all the way through. Assault, Integrated, and Augmented are having their Web of Fire velocity decrease effect adjusted from 28 down to 18, 43 down to 24, 38 down to 22, and 48 down to 26. So pretty much about half of their Web of Fire decrease for speed. Then we have the integrated whatever canopy is. I don't know the failed translation there. Hello, Mildred. How you doing today? It's been a while. Welcome, welcome. Alright, so those are being reduced from 25% down to 20% on their velocity decrease. Then you will have the 4 offense-type lightweight destroyers, which are going from 25% down to 20%. All 5 of the assault lightweight destroyers are going from 36 down to 28. All 5 of the integrated lightweight destroyers are going from 32 down to 25. All 5 of the augmented lightweight destroyers are going from 40 down to 30. Those are some pretty heavy nerfs for the Web of Fires. That is crazy. Note, when lightweight ships are destroyed and the number decreases, the velocity decrease effect will also decrease accordingly. Alright, then you also have a nerf to automatic defense. The micro-scrambling effect of automatic defense has been changed from a neutral effect to an offensive effect. After using it on others and scrambling them, you will gain a weapon timer. So use it with caution, and never use it near a low-sec Stargate. That is your nerf to automatic defense implant. Get wrecked. Now you gotta be careful. Alright, next up. Faction, Wargames, Fleet, and Squad Optimization. Only Wargames fleets can now form fleets to participate in the multiplayer modes. Added a dedicated party status screen for Faction Wargames. Designated new matchmaking loading screen and optimized the matchmaking loading process. Cool, they keep putting work into a game mode that almost nobody plays. But I'm glad they're making parties available now. So that's good. They are changing the way the AI Nanocore skin mechanic works. They're just not gonna have the Misty Gold Throne skin as the basic AI core. They will now make it the standard ship skin that you had on from your original Nanocore. God, if I have to do faction war games for Titan materials, I will die. It will not make me very happy. Structure skins are now compatible with Recon Outposts, Scout Outposts. Structure skins are now compatible with the Clone Scout Outpost, Corporation Scout Outpost, and Corporation Frontline Outpost. Corporations that already own and have activated a structure skin can apply it directly to the above structures without repurchasing. Very nice. That's a good change. Optimizations. Star chart performance. Office function. When only the headquarters office remains in a corporation, it can now be closed. Optimize the collectibles market function. You can now view historical transaction prices of each item, distinct from the average transaction price on the regular market, for caps near reference only and not involved in the insurance system valuation. Optimize the description of certain items. And there's a bunch of bug fixes. Fixed an issue where damage caused by the quantum entanglement modules was not counted in the combat reports. Fixed an issue where the destruction type quantum entanglement module could potentially be triggered when repairing a ship. This is the core function of the reversal type quantum module. Fixed an issue where siege fleets appeared in solar systems that cannot be claimed for sovereignty. These fleets would retreat after wandering around for a while. Fixed an issue where a Fortizar could be anchored in a few high-sec solar systems with a security level of 0.5. Individual already anchored structures need to be unanchored manually. If not unanchored, they will be teleported to a random low-sec solar system after maintenance. Whoopee! If you don't unanchor your Fortizar, you could wake up in Stain! No, you'd probably wake up in some random low-sec system on the opposite side of the map from where you want to be. Whoopee! So, just make sure you unanchor your Fortizar, and you'll be fine. Fixed an issue where attempting to initiate a capital ship jump while switching planets could cause the game to freeze. Fixed an issue where, in rare cases, the reboot countdown of certain modules will suddenly end after passing through a Stargate. Fixed a display error on the inventory interface after disconnecting and reconnecting. Fixed an issue where, when drones were stacked together, the AI nanocore might only activate one drone. That's a problem. Fixed an issue where the corporation market interface could fail to display properly in rare cases. I believe we actually have that problem right now where we can't even post, like, corporation, things. Corporation buy orders or whatever. Fixed an issue where DPS displayed in the interface might not update in time after switching scenes. For example, an abnormal display might occur after activating a sniper tactical module and then entering or exiting a station. Fixed an issue where zooming out while observing a large station might only show half the structure. You've actually seen that happen on my streams, where I undock my super carrier, and suddenly there is a really tiny ITC, or you will only see half the station. You actually saw that as a feature when I was testing the Telemachus, and I believe when I was testing the Kanyu-Logi. Fixed an issue where, in extremely rare cases, the Swarm Tactical Module could not be turned off. That's wild. How does that happen? Imagine getting locked in place like that, and you'd have to wait for your fuel to run out? Oh, that would be hilarious. Oh my god. Fixed an issue where destroying an advanced structure using a Devastation Link module could fail to generate a combat report or generate an incomplete one. Fixed an issue where the screen could turn black after the capsule was destroyed if you switch to the background and back. Fixed an issue where certain operations performed in structures such as corporation outposts and Fortizars could consume one round of ammunition. Fixed an issue where abnormal shipping fees in the rare goods market. The shipping fee in the low sec should be 1%, 0.1% times the distance times the estimated value. Fixed an issue where the Phantom and the ship itself appeared inconsistent for a short time after enabling Verdant Flash. Fixed an issue where the locking Phantom in the Verdant Flash mode was inconsistent with the ship's own display. YC 128.7. And there you have it. That is our patch notes for tomorrow. Fortizars, Titans, and new fighters, oh my. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you all tomorrow morning for a update overview and see what we can do. Take care and be safe.